Manchester United kicked off the new season with a victory and a performance that raises the expectations of all fans to the highest level. Seems like the relaunched project of INEOS Group and Erik ten Hag will soon bring back to the world the United team everyone has been waiting for since the times of Sir Alex Ferguson. To convince you of this fact, we will demonstrate how the Red Devils tactically bested Fulham in the new season's opener, explain what is really going on behind the club's summer transfer campaign, and reveal what brilliant moves we should expect from the Mancunians before the summer transfer window shuts down. So again, Manchester United kicked off the new Premier League campaign with a fabulous 1-0 home victory over Fulham. The key to the 3 points was the team's excellent performance within the brand new setup. Ten Hag chose a 4-2-3-1 formation, which was actually transformed into a 4-2-2-2. Above the back four, Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo were placed in the defensive midfield. Amad Diallo and Marcus Rashford were meant to play on attacking wings. There were no pure strikers, but only 2 false nines, the roles of which were taken by Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount. Without natural forwards in the first half, the Red Devils found it tricky to build on their attacking attempts in the other half of the pitch. However, winners Diallo and Rashford did a great job of stretching Fulham's defense. By distracting the Cottagers' wingbacks, Amad and Marcus open up space in the center for Mount, Fernandes, Casemiro and Mainoo. Basically, this quartet dictated the game, ensured the long ball possession and gradually pressed the opposition back into their own half. Aggression in tackling and pressing is what helped the Manchester squad the most. In defense, Lisandro Martinez managed to effectively neutralize the explosive Adama Traoré, while in midfield, Casemiro went for tough tackles and cut off any attempts by Fulham to quickly counter-attack. Besides, Mount also set a highly intense pressing. Erik ten Hag's men kept a high defensive line and thus chased their opponents all over the pitch. The Dutch manager chose man-to-man open play pressing and was right to do so. Throughout the clash, the Mancunians won 20 tackles, just one less compared to their record-breaking tally in the 2023-24 season, 21 versus Crystal Palace. On top of that, they made 17 interceptions. You see, last season's best result was achieved only twice, 20 interceptions versus Aston Villa and 18 versus Chelsea. Fulham managed to control United for quite a while, but with half an hour remaining before the final whistle, Erik ten Hag came up with a smart decision that later proved to be crucial. In the 61st minute, the coach brought on Alejandro Garnacho and debutant Joshua Zirkzee instead of Diallo and Mount. This double switch crossed out the tactical pattern which the Red Devils followed for an hour in the match, but it was still exactly what they needed. Fernandes dropped to a closer position for the top 10, and Garnacho took his place on the right wing. Meanwhile, Zirkzee emerged as a distinct force in the center of the front line, much needed by United in order to put more pressure on Fulham's defense. Subsequently, the 4-2-2-2 shape turned into a 4-3-3. The Mancunians began to be more exposed to opponents' counterattacks, however, the risk was worth it. In the 87th minute, Garnacho and Zirkzee, whom ten Hag released from the bench, orchestrated the game-winning goal. The Dutch newcomer slotted the ball home in his first Premier League appearance and gave his side an important 1-0 opening win. So, what does this display and result tell us about Manchester United's new project? Well, let's get used to the fact that the Dutch performers will score a lot, since there are even more of them in the squad now. This summer, not only Zirkzee but also 2 of Ten Hag's former Ajax players arrived at Old Trafford: centre-back Matthijs de Ligt and wing-back Noussair Mazraoui. The English club spent 70 million euros on both of them, and in total, over the past 2 years, United have already invested 272.4 million euros in Ten Hag's former Ajax stars. Andre Onana, Lisandro Martinez, De Ligt, Mazraoui and Antony are now all here. Well, we would like to introduce you to the Ajax United team. One may only wonder how the tables have turned, as at the end of 2023, Erik ten Hag strongly denied plans to recreate his iconic Ajax team in Manchester. The football that we played at Ajax we will never play here. I have different players now, and it's also not the reason that I came here. I cannot play here in the same way. And that is also entirely not in the DNA of Manchester United, assured ten Hag. Apparently, Erik changed his mind and is now doing exactly what he said he wouldn't do. Once the club extended his contract, a Dutch revolution took place in Manchester. Erik ten Hag's staff has been completely renewed, with his assistants now being former Man United striker Ruud van Nistelrooy and a specialist with extensive experience in the Eredivisie, René Hakke. They were also joined by goalkeeping coach Jelle ten Rouwelaar. We see the same kind of trend with the incoming players. Apart from Lenny Yoro from Lille, the other three signings are all Dutch: De Ligt, Zirkzee and Mazraoui. Interestingly enough, during his time at Old Trafford, Erik has already assembled a full roster of players who have previously performed in the Netherlands. In fact, the idea behind the current transfer campaign is pretty simple. Ten Hag needs those guys who are 100% committed to his ideas, those who understand his game philosophy and will realize all his plans on the pitch. At the same time, the owners of INEOS Group are putting the club's management in order too. Firstly, they poached Omar Berrada from Manchester City's CEO post. Then they got Newcastle sporting director Dan Ashworth, adding two technical directors to his team, Jason Wilcox and Christopher Weevil. The former worked his way up through the Man City structure, and the latter was responsible for adding Erling Haaland, Joško Gvardiol and many other talents to the Red Bull system. In mid-June, the club also announced a £50 million investment meant to upgrade its Carrington training facility. Cristiano Ronaldo is now crying and sending his regards.
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
Besides, INEOS didn't forget to get rid of those footballers who were no longer needed by the head coach. Manchester United finally parted ways with the problematic Mason Greenwood, letting him go to Olympique Marseille, as well as selling Aaron Wan-Bissaka to West Ham United. Their departures brought the club a total of €43 million. In addition, Raphael Varane, Anthony Martial and Sofiane Amrabat left the club too. The Mancunians even managed to earn an additional €16 million from the sale of defender Willy Kambwala to Villarreal and fullback Álvaro Carreras to Benfica. The transfer of Donny van de Beek to Girona generated another €5,000. More importantly, by offloading the unwanted assets, United were able to keep their leader, Bruno Fernandes. The Portuguese could have gone to Saudi Arabia, but he eventually renewed his contract until 2027. He was convinced by the prospects of the new INEOS Sports project. The club was aware that there was a possibility of me leaving. I had concrete offers. But the club showed that it needed me, that it was at a time of change and that they wanted to do things differently, said Bruno. As we can see, Manchester United are actually leading a smart self-management. The right decisions are being made in all aspects and the players finally see a future here, not just good contracts. Let's get used to the fact that United are becoming irrational. And this is far from over.
The show goes on!
Before the summer transfer window closes, the Red Devils are set to make a few more reinforcements. One of them is expected to be PSG midfielder Manuel Ugarte. The Uruguayan could add some very important things to Ten Hag's game: defensive solidity, expeditionary activity in interceptions and regaining possession, press resistance and ball progression. Based on these qualities, Ugarte is among the strongest midfielders in French Ligue 1. And most notably, he has excellent tactical versatility. Despite his initial role as a defensive midfielder, Ugarte can also operate as a central midfielder and box-to-box. His acquisition could potentially give Ten Hag even more options in different tactical setups.
Control and dictate the game even more, but
we also need to keep in mind that the Red Devils boss constantly dreams of Barcelona midfielder Frenkie de Jong, with whom he, you've guessed it, worked at Ajax. Erik really needs de Jong's best skills, setting the pace of the game, linking the midfield with the attack, not to mention his amazing short and long passes. Barca are definitely in no hurry to part ways with Frenkie, though Ten Hag's pressure and huge financial offer could change their mind. In that case, we will see a genuine transfer bomb at the window's close. So, Ten Hag's revolution at Manchester United is reaching its peak, and the stakes are raised as never before. In the past two campaigns, the Dutch boss has shown domestic trophy progression, taking the Carabao Cup in 2023 and the FA Cup in 2024. But now he is facing the last unresolved task, the long-awaited Premier League trophy. Will Ten Hag become the first manager since Sir Alex to lead United to the Premier League gold medals? Guys, what do you think about it? Share your thoughts in the comments down below and be sure to click on other cool videos about Manchester United on our channel. Thank you for your attention. See you in a bit.